And we welcome you from Miller Park, Milwaukee. Beautiful Saturday night. Roof is closed up on a cool evening, but expecting a sellout crowd tonight as we get set for Game 2, the Brewers and the Pittsburgh Pirates. And it is a night of celebration. Not only have the Brewers won 7 straight games, but tonight, the Gold Glove Award ceremony for Carlos Gomez. It is also Autism Awareness Night here in Milwaukee. And hi, everybody. Great to have you with us alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Brian Anderson. Looking forward to this matchup tonight. You've got Giovanni Gallardo on the mound against Edinson Volquez. And right now, Rock, the Brewers, the hottest team in baseball. They've won 7 straight games. And you look no further than their pitching, especially their starting pitching.
And I think the Brewers knew they had some pretty good starting pitching going into the season, but I'm not sure they thought it would be this good this early on. The Brewers in this winning streak have only trailed in 3 different innings and not more than 1 run. That's how good these guys have been. They've given up 19 earned runs and averaging over 6 innings per start. I mean, each and every guy up and down this rotation getting it done. 7 out of 10 quality starts, and the guy that really got it all started was the guy that's on the mound here tonight. Giovanni Gallardo has been outstanding. He's 2-0. He's doing it a little bit differently than he has in the past. It's not the big strikeouts. He's only got 7, but he's only walked 2. He's getting outs early in counts. 12 2/3 scoreless innings. He has not allowed a run all year.
And he's looking for his 3rd win of the year. It helps when you have Gold Glove defense behind you. And Carlos Gomez receiving that award here tonight. And the Brewers manager, Roenicke, was kind enough to wear a microphone during batting practice today. And he spent a little time with Carlos Gomez. Some interesting thoughts.
Now you're getting a Gold Glove.
Shortstop.
Huh?
Good.
How about that, huh?
Everything.
You went from being a pitcher, quitting to being a pitcher to getting a Gold Glove.
Hey, shortstop. Serious? Good.
Good.
Home improvement needs at Menards. By Miller Lite, now in the original can, it's Miller time. By Toyota, let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Sellout crowd expected here tonight at Miller Park to watch the Pirates and Brewers. Milwaukee's 8-2 record, the best in baseball. And they try to extend their winning streak now to 8 games. And Davey, you look in the middle of that lineup, one of the biggest reasons Milwaukee's offense is so feared at this point is Aramis Ramirez is having a tremendous April, but it's a month he doesn't usually have a tremendous April.
Well, you know, when you look at it, he started his career in Pittsburgh, then he came to Cincinnati, and now or Chicago, excuse me, and then he came to Milwaukee. Well, you know, I can see in those two cities, Pittsburgh, Chicago, having a little tough. This guy's a good hitter, but coming to Milwaukee, he feels a lot more comfortable, and he's been able to, I think, hit a lot of mistake pitches and drive in key runs.
The guy's been around a long time, and Aramis Ramirez, a professional hitter. I love that phrase because it has worked out so well for the Brewers for the first 10 games. He's healthy. The Brewers are in good spirits, and why not? Going for win number 8. Yo's on the hill. Brian and Bill return when we come back.
Just about ready for Brewers baseball tonight. Division rivals, the Brewers and the Pittsburgh Pirates, and the Brewers ace leads the crew out onto the field at Miller Park. Notice they're wearing the retro Friday uniforms once again. Why break up a good thing? After the win last night, the Brewers go to it on a Saturday. There's Clint Hurdle, took his Pirates to the postseason last year. They won the wild card game against Cincinnati, eventually losing to St. Louis in the division series. They got a very good ball club once again this year, and at 6-4 they sit in second in the division. Marte, Snyder, and McCutchen at the top. McCutchen had an ankle injury yesterday. He left the game, but he's back in there here tonight. Alvarez, Martin, and Walker in the middle with Ishikawa, Mercer, and Volquez rounding out the Pittsburgh starting 9.
And Giovanni Gallardo starts the 3rd time through this rotation for the Brewers. The first 2 have gone extremely well. Yo's 2-0, has not allowed a run, not just an earned run, but has not allowed any kind of runs. 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Very good his last time out against the Red Sox and beating John Lester. The Menards Brewers defense, no changes except for Scooter Gennett. You got the right-hander for Pittsburgh on the mound. Carlos Gomez in center field got his Gold Glove today and certainly deserved that.
First Gold Glove in franchise history in over 30 years. As Gallardo pumps a strike in there, and off we go from Miller Park. Gomez, he started all 11 back in there tonight. Had an RBI single yesterday. The Brewers winning yesterday by a final of 4-2, extending their winning streak to 7 in a row. Won all 6 games on the road trip through Boston and Philadelphia, and then won the opener last night. Longest winning streak in baseball, and as Craig Kashan mentioned, the best record in the game starting play today at 8-2 for the year. Pitching has been the name of the game. And the starting pitching, as Rock mentioned, has been dialed in to begin the season. There's a quiet confidence in spring training about the Brewers starters. I think everybody felt like they could be good. Obviously, it depends on health. But you get through the first 10 games of the season, and this looks like a rotation that's going to be able to avoid long losing streaks, probably most importantly, and help you get on winning streaks.
Yeah, good pitching, good defense is going to keep you in ball games. The Brewers starters in the first 2 weeks, a .231 earned run average, and the bullpen's been even better.
Now the Brewers' number 5 starter Willie Peralta beat the Pirates ace Francisco Liriano yesterday as Gallardo gets the swing and miss, and that's how his night begins at Miller Park.
A steady diet of pitches away, but Giovanni able to come up and in on Marte. He tried to hold up, couldn't. Pitch out of the strike zone at 90 miles an hour. Yo's not throwing real hard, but locating very well, putting the baseball pretty much where he wants it.
Here's Travis Snyder back in the starting lineup. He's part of a platoon in right field with Jose Tabata. Pirates have a platoon at first and in right, and they're facing a string of right-handers now. I believe it's 9 in a row if everything holds true. Brewers will roll out Kyle Loesch tomorrow, the 3rd straight lefty. As Snyder sends that one deep into left. Davis is there, and he's got it for out number 2. Two up and 2 down for Giovanni Gallardo. Crowd still filing in. The parking lots were full before the game. A lot of tailgating going on. Actually had some sun breakthrough after some early morning and afternoon rains. Even some hail in the area today, but then blue skies. The sun came out. Turned out to be a beautiful tailgating night on a Saturday in April. Still a little bit cool to open up the roof, so sealed up tight and nice and comfortable inside Miller Park.
And still a chance for rain later on, but who cares once you're in the ballpark?
Andrew McCutchen back in the lineup tonight, and he hits one sharply to Segura, and Gallardo retires the Buccos in order. Tailgating by the thousands, one of the signatures here at Miller Park. Off we go. hitter before the game tonight. Carlos Gomez back in the top spot. Roenicke trying to get his ball club back to winning ways and back in the postseason. He was there in 2011. The lineup is presented by Associated Bank, and the only change is down there near the bottom with Scooter Gennett at second base. Of course, Gallardo on the mound and batting ninth. Brewers with 4 runs on 6 hits yesterday, and they'll face a familiar opponent from the Central Division. He is now back in the Central with the Pirates, Edinson Volquez.
Yeah, Brewers remember him from the Cincinnati Reds in 2008, his best year in the big league, 17-6. He's had good success against Milwaukee, 5-3 career, 2-0 last year as a member of the San Diego Padres.
Volquez coming off a start against St. Louis. Went 5 2/3 innings, gave up just 1 earned run in that game. Actually made a relief appearance against the Cubs prior to that. And now in this rotation. Pirates activated Jeff Locke, one of their young lefties, big prospect who we saw in the big leagues last year. Activated him from injury and then sent him to AAA. Gomez a mile high in the seats. And a ball and a strike on Carlos.
I think that one went over the tension wires and into the seats. I mean, that ball was smoked straight up. Gomez very aggressive, obviously, and off to a terrific start this year.
Gomez had a big hit last night. He drove, extended the Brewers lead 4-0 in a game they would win 4-2. And Gomez into center field. That ball's hit. Back it goes. And it's gone. Carlos Gomez launches one out of here. A leadoff home run. And the Brewers lead 1-0.
And no better way to start the game. Roenicke likes that power in the leadoff spot, and Gomez has provided it. There's a fastball right down the middle at about 94 miles an hour, and Gomez to straightaway center off the batter's eye. Boy, good extension. Powerball home run count number 4 for Gogo on his Gold Glove night here at Miller Park.
Segura on the first pitch, a bouncer to short. This is Jordy Mercer. And the first out for Edinson Volquez after the fireworks off the bat of Carlos Gomez. His 4th career leadoff home run, his 2nd already this season. Well, Gomez is the club leader in long balls right now with 4. Well, he is picking up right where he left off last year. He's one of the game's elite players right now on both sides of the ball.
And no doubt about it, hitting about 390 with power, scoring a lot of runs. It just brings that enthusiasm, that energy. I mean, right from the get-go, leadoff hitter, when you have that kind of energy, kind of puts the defense on their heels when the game starts like that.
Well, Ryan Braun had a huge series in Philadelphia, all 3 of his home runs and all 10 of his RBIs coming in that series. Had a 7 RBI game as we take a look at the Pittsburgh defense courtesy of Menards, and the same cast of characters that we saw yesterday. Marte, McCutchen, and Snyder in the outfield. Alvarez, Mercer, Walker, and Ishikawa go around the horn, and an excellent catcher behind the plate in Russell Martin.
That Pirates very strong defensively last year, good pitching. And that's what gets to the postseason. Russell Martin, the key component to that. A big pickup in the offseason. The MVP in center field. And Pirates expect to do the same this year.
Martin has won a Gold Glove. Matter of fact, he's the last National League catcher to win a Gold Glove prior to Yadier Molina's reign. As Braun bounces to Mercer. 2 outs.
Brings a lot to the table. Good offense. He can run for a catcher, and about as good as it gets calling a game. Made a big difference and has really reduced the running of the opponent. It used to be when the Pirates came into town, the Brewers would run wild. You can't do that anymore with Russell Martin back there.
Nice hand for Aramis Ramirez. Had a big hit last night. Brewers were being no hit. And Ramirez came up, got to a 2-strike count. Francisco Liriano tried to sneak a fastball by him, and he hit one into the Brewers bullpen. 420-foot blast last night, a 2-run home run. That was the first hit of the night for Milwaukee, who made their hits count last night. They scored 4 runs on their 6 hits.
But once again, good pitching keeps you in the ball game.
Ramirez, little jam shot pop up. Mercer will be involved in this one as well. So Volquez retires 3 straight, but not before Carlos Gomez on the day he receives his Gold Glove, making some noise with his bat. A leadoff homer, and the Brewers lead 1-0. Carlos Gomez puts the Brewers on the board with a leadoff home run. Now the Brewers starting pitching comes into focus, and Rock, historically good. You go back to the 1990 season, and the Brewers currently 24 consecutive starts with 3 runs or fewer from their starting pitcher. So the first 10 this year, it goes back the last 14 last year. That's quite an impressive run, and some pretty good pitching staffs on that list that they are comparable to. Something that might have slipped under the rug just a little bit with the way the Brewers finished last season, and of course the way they've started this year. Gallardo has not allowed a run in his first 2+ starts. That streak is now at 13 1/3 after his scoreless first inning. And the Brewer starting rotation is averaging 6 or more innings each and every start. I mean, it's been very good. 62 1/3 innings in the first 10 starts. That's pretty good to start the season. Pedro Alvarez leads off for Pittsburgh. He has had a very tough time against Giovanni Gallardo in his career. 1 for 20 lifetime against Gallardo with 9 strikeouts. And Giovanni hoping to keep those numbers intact as Alvarez draws the walk. So the first base runner for the Pirates to lead off this second inning. Hey, tonight's time of the game winner, Cindy's Bar and Grill in Medford. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and our good friends at Miller Lite. Having a good time out there in the Miller Lite party deck. One of these days we're going to do a game from out there. I'm in. Yeah, talk to your people. Set that up. I think my people would love it. Your people, however, have to sign off on it. Here's Russell Martin. Leadoff base runner at first. Martin with a couple of home runs already. Has 6 runs batted in. He's hitting .286. Martin yesterday was 1 for 4. Struck out a couple of times in yesterday's game. Pretty consistent lineup for Pittsburgh. Mentioned those 2 platoons they have going at first and right. It's rare to see ball clubs who feel like they're going to contend like the Pirates and the Brewers do this year to have platoons at first base. And both of these teams have that to start the year as Martin shatters his bat. That'll roll foul.
Pirates have done that the last few years. I mean, it's been one of those things where they get a guy with some power, right-handed, left-handed combination. Brewers are hoping for the same this year, although Mark Reynolds has pretty much taken over that job because of the way he's been swinging the bat and playing pretty well defensively.
Now this was the day to find out if the Brewers were still in a platoon with a right-handed starter on the mound. Sophia has more on that.
Well, Brian, Ron Roenicke said that. He said there's a good chance that you will see Lyle Overbay tomorrow. And he said certainly the way Mark Reynolds is hitting right now, you don't want to take him out of the lineup. But conversely, you don't want to leave Lyle Overbay on the bench for too long. So what he said he's been most surprised with Reynolds is his defense. He's had really good hands. He's making some great defensive plays. And, you know, it's been value added what he's been able to do defensively.
You know, it'll certainly be a big shot in the arm. The Brewers don't have to go through what they did last year at first base. 7 different guys, most of which had never played the position.
Chance to turn it here. Jeanette, Segura. And Segura's wiped out. He gets the double play, but he is down.
I think Jeanette's throat floated and kind of threw Segura off of his rhythm. Segura just kind of popped it up to throw the little feed over to Segura, who a little bit messed up his footwork a little bit. Check it out. I mean, wasn't able to get his feet under him and be able to make a good solid throw. And you can see the way Alvarez kicks the leg up and knocks him over.
A good clean slide by Alvarez.
Jeanette's got to put a little bit more on this flip. Out of rhythm right there. That's why he got knocked over.
A 4-6-3 double play. And Segura looks like he's all right. So 2 outs, wipes out the leadoff walk, and here is Neil Walker. Walker responsible for the only 2 runs of the game for the Pirates last night. Hit a 2-run home run in the 7th inning. And his 2nd home run of the year. He's driven in 5. A testament to the depth of this lineup as Neil Walker hits 6th in this batting order.
He's always had good numbers against Milwaukee. Got good power from both sides of the plate. A little bit more power as a left-handed hitter. Of course, he gets more at bats left-handed.
Walker coming off a season where he had a career high in home runs with 16. Had a walk-off home run on opening day against former Brewer Carlos Villanueva, one of Gallardo's best buddies coming through the Brewers minor league system. 2-2, 2 outs, and Walker doesn't chase. Count goes full now. Brewers off with a bang tonight. Carlos Gomez, a leadoff home run in the bottom of the 1st. And it was crushed off the batter's eye in center field. All 3 home runs for the Brewers in this series have traveled well over 400 feet. Reynolds hit one 440 last night. Ramirez has went over 420. Haven't heard the official reading yet on Gomez, but that's got to be in that 420, 430 range, wouldn't you think?
Something anyway. 400 to the fence. Halfway up that batter's eye.
Walker rolls over one right to Jeanette, and Gallardo works around the leadoff walk. 2 scoreless innings for Yo. Jonathan Lucroy set to lead off. He's off to a great start at the plate. He'll get it started in the bottom of the 2nd.
In the bottom of the second, and on April 16th, two bitter rivals will step in to coach the UFC's next generation of fighters as they go head-to-head with the UFC contract on the line. The all-new season of The Ultimate Fighter, Team Edgar versus Team Penn, begins Wednesday only on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Now, Pirates manager Clint Hurdle had some great comments about Yovani Gallardo, saying that his best weapon is his moxie. The fact that he's a competitor and he will make pitches for contact that you think that guys won't be able to square up. So he loves that Yo is a gamer and such a competitor, and love that word moxie, the moxie that he has on the mound. Brian.
And he has great numbers against the Pirates as well, and Hurdle's seen a lot of that. Gallardo is 11-4 with a 2.5 ERA lifetime against Pittsburgh. Hurdle now in his fourth year.
And don't think these Pirate hitters don't know the success that Yovani's had against them, although it's been a number of different players in and out of the lineup over the years. But hitters can sense when a pitcher has that type of confidence and that swagger, or moxie if you want to call it, and that confidence exudes itself. Right now Yovani's been a different kind of pitcher and more of a contact type guy, not with the big strikeouts, and that could help him.
Lucroy leading off for the Brewers.
Keeps those pitch counts down and be able to stay in games a little bit longer.
I like what Davey Nelson said, and you've mentioned this too about Yovani Gallardo, who has 2 scoreless innings tonight. But Gallardo has been the Brewers' #1. He's been their top of the rotation starter. But I think last year he lost a little bit of that feeling that he was the ace, that he was the #1. And there's something to that when you step to the front of a rotation. There's a lot of responsibility in that. You're the guy that everybody looks to stop losing streaks. You're the one who typically matches up against the other team's ace. I think he feels like he's the ace this year with the way he's pitching.
Seems like every year, a different starter is getting all the talk. It was Kyle Loesch at the end of spring training this year. Everybody talking about Garza. He kind of flies under the radar screen, but he always seems to be the guy in the end.
I'd remember prior to that it was Zach Greinke, and but it's been Gallardo, the homegrown product, who has held that line, made his 5th consecutive opening day start this year, which is one off a club high set by Ben Sheets. 2-2 to Lucroy. Like Gallardo, Lucroy, a homegrown product, come out of the Brewers farm system. They got 2 great catchers going in this series with Lucroy and Martin. Both swing the bat well. Both are leaders. And both hit in the middle of the batting order. Both batting 5th in their lineups. Expected to produce runs as Lucroy bounces to Alvarez, out #1.
Hey, as a thank you to the best fans in baseball, the Brewers are offering residents of the 5-county area 50% off Brewers tickets to games today through Tuesday against the Pirates and Cardinals. Cardinals coming in on Monday. Visit brewers.com/5county.
Oh, a great crowd here tonight. A sellout at Miller Park to see Gallardo and the Brewers take on the Pirates. Good to have everybody in attendance tonight. We hope you'll make plans to join us if you have not been to Miller Park yet. Great opportunity to get half-price tickets. The Cardinals are coming in Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Cardinals won today, beat the Cubs 10-4, starting to swing the bats a bit.
Chris Davis with 1 away. Davis still looking for his first home run. He is expected to hit 20-25. That's what the projections are for Davis. Has that kind of power. He's hit for average, and he's driven in 3 runs.
He's shown pretty good patience. Volquez, as you can tell, is really trying to concentrate on establishing off speed that his Brewers lineup. It's like Liriano did last night. Sliders, changeups. It's curveball changeup for Volquez, and he's got a terrific changeup.
Going with the curveball here, and Davis Pulls it to third, and it's booted by Alvarez. He took the tough hop, and Davis is safe at first.
Yeah, that's the Achilles heel of this Pirates defense, third base. Alvarez made 30 errors a couple of years ago at third. Plays a tricky hop, not able to come up with it off the end of the glove, and that'll be an E5, and Davis reaches. Now you can put up with bad defense if you're hitting 30 home runs plus, and he does that.
Does he drive in more than he lets in? That's always the question. And as he commits the error that allows Davis to first. Now Mark Reynolds.
Well, he drove in 100 last year. I doubt he gave up that many.
Right. And so that's why he's out there. Actually, his defense has improved, the Pirates say. They like what he's done. His footwork's a little better. Didn't show up on that play, but I don't think anybody expects him to be a Gold Glove third baseman, but he's trending toward the average defensive third baseman at this point from those who have seen him every day.
And that's all you need when you hit 36 home runs.
What a start for Mark Reynolds. Had a home run yesterday. He hit a bomb, his first Miller Park home run as a member of the Brewers. He had a couple of home runs on the last road trip. Had one in Boston and then hit one in Philly.
Very streaky hitter. That's why Ron Roenicke's sticking with him while he's swinging the bat well. Give you some home runs. He's relatively patient at the plate.
Good numbers against the Pirates in his career, huh? 34 games. Done a lot of damage. As Volquez gets him to chase one. Ball and 2 strikes on Reynolds. And he didn't bite this time.
That's a good curveball. It really is. It's got good arm action on it. Looks like a fastball out of the hand and drops off the table.
Brewers saw Volquez last year with the Padres. He had a rough year with San Diego. Eventually got released. Signed with the Dodgers in the last month of the season. But he was pretty much in the everyday rotation for San Diego, part of their 5-man rotation all year, and he ended up with a .601 earned run average in 27 starts. Had a great year with Cincinnati, an all-star season in 08. He won 17 games and a .321 earned run average.
And he's pitched well here in Milwaukee.
Well, last night, Mark Reynolds against Liriano. Home run number 3 was a solo shot. It traveled over 440 feet. And Reynolds on our Powerball home run leaderboard with 3 on the year. Gomez just added to that total with a leadoff home run tonight, his 4th.
And 3 home runs for the Brewers in this series so far, all coming on fastballs. You know, and it seems as though this Pirate pitching staff is trying to attack this Brewer lineup with off speed. But they made 3 mistakes with fastballs.
2-2 to Reynolds with Davis at first. And down he goes. The changeup from Volquez, his best pitch. And he gets his first strikeout.
And there it is, the circle changeup. He makes a circle with the thumb and the index finger and just chokes off the speed. Looks like a fastball out of the hand, and Reynolds out in front.
So 2 outs. Davis still at first, reached on an error, and here is Scooter Gennett. That's been a good study in the changeup so far in this series. Willie Peralta and Francisco Liriano throwing change-ups. Kyle Loesch has a good change-up. He uses what they call the Vulcan grip, which is a very unusual grip of the baseball.
Kind of splits the fingers apart. Brewers have seen a lot of pretty good change-ups in this last week. Cliff Lee, back in Philly. Kyle Kendrick, good change-up. Buchholz with the Red Sox. Yeah, well, a lot of very good change-ups that they've faced.
And while the Brewers are scoring a lot of runs, just shy of 7 runs per game during this winning streak, they have racked up a lot of strikeouts as an offense. Well, Scooter Gennett in the starting lineup tonight. That's the one change that Roenicke made among the position players. Ricky Weeks got the call last night against the lefty Liriano. Had a double last night. Had a good game. Gennett back in there against the right-handed starter. Edinson Volquez once traded for Josh Hamilton between the Reds and the Rangers, and each player ended up in the All-Star game the next season for their new team. Volquez has been involved in a couple of trades regarding high-profile players. The one with the Reds that included Josh Hamilton, and then the Reds Padres deal that involved Matt Latos, bringing Latos from San Diego to Cincinnati. Full count to Gennett. Davis takes off, and Gennett down the line fair. Davis was on the move. He'll end up at third, and Gennett will hold his ground at first with a single. Wow, beautiful piece of hitting there by Scooter Gennett.
He just slices one right down the line. They had Alvarez way off of that line, playing in the hole between third and short, and tucks it inside that third base bag. Hey, Davis was running on the pitch, and if there's any problem out there with Marte and left, I think Cedars going to send him. A little bit of a bobble, I think he might have gone. Marte with a pretty good arm. Davis running on the 3-2 count, but Marte comes up with it cleanly.
A little rally with 2 outs for the Brewers, perhaps, with runners at first and third. If nothing else, you clear the pitcher spot.
Yokin hit.
He's a very good hitter. Actually won a Silver Slugger Award in 2010 as the best hitting pitcher in the National League. Has 12 career home runs, Gallardo, and a .207 career batting average in the big leagues. Hit 2 of those home runs last year. He's no easy out for a pitcher. You have to game plan a little bit for Gallardo. And Volquez respecting his bat.
And spins
off a good curve.
Yeah, gave him a good curveball. He'll kind of smile and say, "You expect me to hit that? I couldn't even pick it up." He's got a terrific curveball.
Oh, and 2 on Gallardo. And that skips away from Martin. Here comes Davis, and he'll score. Wow, the Brewers steal a run there as Davis scores on a wild pitch. 2-0 Milwaukee.
Yeah, so the respect that Volquez and Martin have in Gallardo. Not willing to throw fastballs down the middle. He spikes a curveball, and very unusual for Martin to let that one get away. And a great jump, good secondary lead, good anticipation by Davis to be able to score. Boy, there's a gift run right there. And the Brewers will gladly take it.
2-0 Milwaukee. And an unforced error. Good base running there by Davis. Boy, he was on the move quickly as soon as that ball hit the dirt. Now a ball and 2 strikes on Gallardo. Jeanette at second base. And a spinner in there for a strike, and Gallardo, he is gone. 2 Ks in the inning for Volquez. An unearned run scores. Ron Roenicke, Brewers skipper, wore a microphone for us during batting practice. We'll give you a taste of some of the things he had to say earlier today. Retro Friday jersey so much they wore them on Saturday here tonight. Mark Reynolds sporting the high tops, and Ron Roenicke wearing a microphone for us during batting practice, thinking about the first baseman's fashion here tonight.
So you wearing black and gold again today? Yeah. Black and gold? Okay. All right. The laces look nice trotting around the bases.
Just planting that seed, right? Trotting around the bases.
They are sweet, though. That's a fashion statement.
I don't think I've ever seen the ball club go with the back-to-back on the retro unis.
No.
But when you've won 7 straight games, keep it going. I assume that Gallardo is the one who picks the uniforms. Isn't that how it works with the starting pitcher?
I think that's the way it used to be. I'm not sure if it is. I have to find that out. You know, I'm gonna go down there and find out.
Yeah, take a trip down there. We'll catch you in a few innings.
Maybe I'll text Tony Migliaccio, the Brewers equipment manager and clubhouse guy.
Ishikawa sends that deep to left. Davis can't come up with it. Bounces off the wall. Ishikawa will settle for a double. Davis pulled up the reins right at the last moment as that wall was approaching.
Well, Ishikawa gave that one a pretty good ride to the opposite field. Nearly got out of here. Right down the line. And a fastball out over the plate. And slicing away from Davis as he tried to get at it. And I thought Ishikawa that for a second was going to try for third base. Davis couldn't find it initially off the wall. But with nobody out, you don't want to make the first out of third base. Crashes hard into that padding.
Leadoff double for the Pirates. Brewers lead 2-0. Scored in each of the first 2 innings here tonight. Pirates shortstop Jordy Mercer off to a slow start at the plate. Just 4 hits on the young season, 10 games into it. Mercer last night was 0 for 2. He did walk once. And that one's into center field, a base hit. Ishikawa got a late break, and they'll hold him there. Gomez fires a strike to the cutoff man. So 2 hits to start this 3rd inning. And Gallardo's consecutive scoreless inning streak is in jeopardy now.
Yeah, tried to come inside, left it out over the plate, and Mercer pulled the hands in and shoots it into center field. Let's see what Volquez does here. Does he bunt? Maybe advance Mercer to second base. If it's a good bunt, maybe Ishikawa can score.
Ramirez expecting a bunt in on the grass at 3rd. Volquez has not been a very good hitter in his career. And he squares, gets it down. It is a good one. Gallardo's only play is first, and that'll be a sacrifice. So 2 in scoring position now. Ishikawa held his ground. Now 2nd and 3rd with 1 away. Good bunt by Volquez.
Yeah, deadened that one nicely right in front of home plate. Maybe too good. There's no way you can score on that. That baseball about 3 feet from home plate.
And this is the spot where Gallardo needs a strikeout. High fives for Volquez. Job well done. Giovanni's lone strikeout tonight came against this hitter, Starling Marte, to start the ball game. Ball and a strike on Marte. Marte, an exceptional athlete. He's got a great throwing arm, very fast. He's a center fielder by trade, but when you have an MVP in center field and Andrew McCutchen, Pirates moved him to left, and that makes up one of the great outfields, at least the left side of an outfield in the big leagues. Those 2 guys cover a ton of ground.
And there's a lot of ground to cover in Pittsburgh. Left center field very big. No problem for those 2.
Marte and the Pirates came together on a 6-year contract extension this March. It's a deal that could take him through the 2021 season. That's how high they are on Starling Marte. And they've got a young outfield prospect, one of the best prospects in the game in AAA right now, Gregory Polanco. They've got McCutchen signed up long term, Marte, and with Polanco, they're feeling like they're going to have a dynamic outfield for a long time in Pittsburgh. Probably see Polanco in the big leagues around June or so, if all goes according to plan. Marte, did he go? They will ask. No, he didn't. Checked his swing according to Vic Carapazza. That was close.
Brewer dugout is all over the first base umpire, Carapazza. And boy, that could have gone either way. That's a big call right there with a man at 3rd, less than 2 outs. Well, the umpires don't seem to be willing to call those check swings like they had in the past this year. So a lot of those in Philly and Boston not called for the Brewers and the opponent, for both.
Well, now it's 3-2. And a bouncer out to short. Going to bring in a run for the Pirates. And that does turn out to be a big call. Pittsburgh is on the board, and Gallardo's consecutive scoreless inning streak is over. First earned run allowed of the season here in his 3rd start. (14 2/3) scoreless innings. Jim Slayton is the franchise leader in that category. He's got the top 2 spots actually, and Gallardo, with this run this year, ends up 5th.
Not many people are going to remember Tom Filer. He was on that list, 15 innings. You know, Jim Slayton's on a lot of lists. And when you talk about Brewers pitching, you know, franchise pitching records, he was something.
Games pitched, complete games.
Between the bullpen and the starting rotation.
Snyder takes a strike. Giovanni Gallardo wears number 49 out of respect to a former Brewer hurler, a terrific pitcher, Teddy Higuera, who wore that number. Great Mexican-born pitcher in franchise history. Gallardo was born in Mexico but raised in Texas. Moved to the Dallas area. It's actually from Fort Worth when he was 3 years of age.
Man, this is the guy you want right here. You got McCutchen on deck. You don't want to deal with that guy. Make this guy beat you.
Snyder flew out to deep left field in the first inning. And he rips that one to right center. Base hit, and another run will score, and the Pirates have tied it up.
Man, what a great seat it is to be in that two-hole in the lineup. You know, Snyder knows all too well that Gallardo doesn't want to walk him. He knows he's going to get a fastball. He got one and hit it hard into right. And Giovanni will make that pitch over and over again to avoid having to face McCutchen. Snyder this time able to cash in.
So 2 runs are in on 3 hits in the inning. All tied at 2 with Andrew McCutchen at the plate. 2 outs, runner at first. Yesterday in McCutchen's final at bat, which ended as a line drive out to third base, which ended the inning in the 8th, he tweaked his ankle a little bit and went back to the dugout. Told Clint Hurdle that he hurt his ankle. Hurdle took him out. Some question whether he would play today, but he's back in the starting lineup.
Those are some sweet shoes too. How about those? Little gold toes on them.
It feels very stylish here today with these two teams.
Snyder's got him on too.
Which one's you going with? The right or the left?
I like Reynolds. The high tops. Absolutely. You know what makes that whole get up right there for Reynolds is he's got the pant legs pulled up.
There's a little Bart Starr in there, a little Johnny Unitas kind of look, minus the yellow shoelaces. 3-1 to McCutchen. Dangerous pitch coming here, and McCutchen takes a strike. Just caught a piece. Full count. That'll give Snyder a head start.
We have to cut fastball right on the edge, right at the top of the strike zone.
Three and two, 2 outs. There goes Snyder. McCutchen sends it into left field, a base hit, and Snyder on his way to third. So the hits keep coming for the Pirates here in the 3rd inning. That is their 4th base hit. And now 1st and 3rd with 2 away.
Man, 6-pitch at bat, and Giovanni really didn't want to go fastball. He was throwing a lot of off-speed pitches. Started out with a curveball, a couple of cutters. He threw a fastball on a 2-1 count, got behind, and then got to the full count with a cut fastball. Threw another one, and this one in the inner half of the plate, and McCutchen's not going to miss that too often, and sneaks that one into left field.
Now McCutchen's off to a slow start, swinging the bat. Came in with a batting average under 200. He's been walking a lot. And he delivers a single to get Alvarez a swing at Gallardo here in this 3rd inning. 2 runs in, 2 on. McCutchen stole 2 bases last night.
Let's see how much that ankle is affected. Let's see if he runs here.
Alvarez already with 5 home runs. 5 homers in the first 10 games. He has had two homer games already.
Yeah, they're streaky. These home run hitters, most of them are very streaky. Reynolds is streaky. Alvarez streaky. All 5 of his home runs came in 6 games.
He popped a couple of homers last Friday against St. Louis and then hit 2 at Wrigley Field on Wednesday. Did he go? And yes, he did. Greg Gibson raises the thumb on Alvarez.
Finally got a call, right? Well, what a difference in this inning with that call at first base. Saying that Marte didn't go, ended up costing Gallardo a couple of runs because Marte grounded to short. Somebody's always upset at the umpire.
It's been a grind here in the 3rd for Gallardo. 7th batter in the inning. Snyder and McCutchen on the bags. 2-1. And it's 3-1 now. And Gallardo stepping into the deep waters here with Pedro Alvarez. "28 pitches already in this inning." Hitters count 3-1. There goes McCutchen, and a swing and a miss. Lucroy doesn't bother. Picked the right pitch to run on, his 3rd steal of this series.
Didn't seem like that anchor was giving him any problem. Got down there quickly. The cutter from Giovanni on a 3-1 count.
So 2 in scoring position, full count. And Alvarez swings and misses. Down he goes. And that's a big one early for Giovanni Gallardo. A 30-pitch inning. Gives up 2 runs. All tied at 2. Got him with a curveball. Brewers coming up, bottom 3rd.
Brewers and Pirates tied at 2, and Carlos Gomez received his Gold Glove award at a ceremony just before the game, and he's very aware of the history, becoming the 5th player to win a Gold Glove here for the Brewers and aware of the drought. So he said it was a very special moment for him to share this with the fans, winning that Gold Glove, the first player to do it in more than 30 years since Robin Yount did it in 1982. And more special for Gomez because his father, Carlos Gomez Sr., was here to celebrate it with him. D.A.?
Yeah, and he's very close with his dad. And his dad always wanted Carlos to be a shortstop. But instead, he wins a Gold Glove as a center fielder in a great moment here. First outfielder to win a Gold Glove in franchise history since 1979. Sixto Lezcano the last to do it. And as Sophia mentioned, you got to go back to 82 for the last player to win a Gold Glove. Robin Yount won it as a shortstop that year.
And was there any doubt he was going to get one this after last year? I mean, nobody played a better outfield in all of baseball than Gomez did, and continues to do that this year.
And you know, when you hit and you hit a little bit, he's got a chance to win a lot of Gold Gloves.
Right.
He's got a chance to go on a string of Gold Glove success. Carlos flying out to right for the first out.
Upset with himself in that dugout.
Well, it's been a while, over 3 decades since the last Gold Glove. The boomer George Scott, he had a great run at first base. Cecil Cooper, that he was traded for, ended up with a couple of Gold Gloves. And there's Lezcano in '79, the last outfielder before Gomez. And Robin Yount, 1982. Gomez puts his name on that list. Segura, bouncer to Mercer, he backhands and fires a strike to get Segura. 2 outs in the inning. Speaking of Gold Gloves, that's the subject of our Carsoup.com trivia tonight. Which 2 players are the all-time leaders in Gold Gloves by an outfielder? Good question.
How many did Andrew Jones win in a row?
That's a good guess.
Yeah, there were a bunch.
Willie Mays,
Clemente.
We'll have the official answer for you when Wave Robinson, our producer, feels like it. As Ryan Braun takes the strike. Wave Robinson and Renardo Lowe manning the operations in the truck. A very talented crew here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Great to be back. Braun down quickly, 0-2. Had a weak ground out in the first inning. Volquez giving up 2 runs, 1 of them earned. The home run by Gomez in the first. And down he goes. Surprised him with a fastball and hit 92 with that heater. 3 up, 3 down for Volquez and a shutdown inning for him. The tailgating scene here at Miller Park, it's among the best in the world, as you know. Happy birthday, Garrett. He's 26 today. Don't know who Garrett is, but he's got a nice party going on out there. Sellout crowd here at Miller Park. By the way, part of the cuisine here at Miller Park today was the Primanti sandwiches. They always do based on the opponent. They do, a fare that has some kind of connection there.
Yeah, when Philly comes in, it'll be cheesesteaks, that type of thing.
Right. So Primanti sandwiches here at the ballpark here tonight. And by the way, we want to say to our great chef, John DeMartini, he's going to be leaving Miller Park and the Brewers. He's headed back home to Pittsburgh next week. He's been a great guy to work with and be around, and we wish him the best.
Good chow he brings in here every day.
Yes, he does. So Chef John, if we had hats on, we would at this point tip him. So great job, great work, and he's part of the reason we have such great food in this ballpark and big shoes to fill.
Part of the reason we're overweight.
That's right. We can thank our muffin tops to Chef John. Thank you very much.
We've enjoyed every pound. Thank you.
As Russell Martin sends one back up the middle, a base hit. By the way, do you ever take that glove off?
Nah.
I mean, you're a catcher. That's kind of an infielder's glove, and yet you wear that glove while you're doing a game.
Yeah, my Spiders infield gloves. I mean, what's the matter with it? I enjoy playing with it up here.
I'd feel better if you had a catcher's mitt on.
So you want this one so I could use a catcher's mitt? Is that the idea? Are you looking for one?
I am, actually. So there's a fantasy camp in my future.
Did I ask you ever smell this glove? It's great.
Neil Walker takes a strike. Well, Gallardo's got to get it dialed up a little bit. A 30-pitch third inning, giving up 4 hits and 2 runs. And it seems like Rocky's going more to the curveball here in the last couple of innings than the first 2. Broken bat. Looks easy enough for Segura for the first out of the inning.
You lull him to sleep with that off-speed stuff, and then you climb the ladder with the heater. That's what he did to Walker right there. Good pitch. Get it up and in, and you jam him. I'll see what I can do. I'll make a couple of calls.
Talk to your people. Usually everything that comes to the booth ends up in Rock's locker. I think that's your way of getting back at me for never passing along a statistic during the game.
Yeah.
From Mike Faulkner.
You get all the stats. I get all the stuff to take home.
You get all the swag.
Yeah.
I get pieces of paper. For instance, Travis Ishikawa with the Brewers in 2012. Played 94 games, hit .257. Had 4 homers, 30 RBIs. There you go. You can use that.
You see, that's good Brian Anderson information. I mean, people at home know I don't know about that or care. It's good stuff, though.
Ishikawa doubled down the left field line in the 3rd inning, scored a run. Scored the first Pirates run. A 2-run third to even it up. Gallardo's consecutive scoreless inning streak ends just shy of 15 innings. Chance to turn it here. That would get him out of the inning. Jeanette, Segura bobbles, and the throw is picked by Reynolds. Wow. What a great play by Mark Reynolds. Keystone combination. Not exactly smooth to start this game, but they're 2 for 2 in double plays. Great pick. Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Marshfield Clinic, don't just live, shine. And by First Supply, the preferred distributor to professional contractors since 1897. Good fun, good fare on a Saturday night at Miller Park, Milwaukee. And a good ball game going so far. 2-2, we're all tied up. Gallardo against Volquez. Aramis Ramirez leads off, and Volquez fires a strike. Ramirez, Lucroy, and Davis. Volquez with 3 strikeouts, all coming in the last 2 innings. Had a 3-up, 3-down inning last inning. Brewers got a run in the first off Volquez, a leadoff homer by Gomez. Carlos belted his 4th of the year and is now the club leader in home runs. And an unearned run scored in the second. Davis reached on an error. He scored on a wild pitch. And that second run that scored, what was interesting and notable about it, Gallardo was at the plate, the Brewer pitcher, and in an 0-2 count, just as it looked like Volquez was going to get out of the inning, he bounced a breaking ball that got away from Martin, and Davis, good base running, came in to score the second run. Pirates got their 2 in the third on 4 hits. Two and 2 to Ramirez, and he pulls one right to third. Alvarez caught it in the air. Line drive out for a red hot hitter in Aramis Ramirez. One away.
They come to Miller Park on Monday through Wednesday to see the Brewers square off against the Cardinals when their rivals from St. Louis head north for an early season NL Central showdown. Call 414-902-4000 or visit Brewers.com today. A couple of night games and then a Wednesday day game, and then the Brewers hit the road once again. Head to Pittsburgh for 4.
Going to be a lot of matchups in the Central Division. Brewers facing a lot of postseason teams from a year ago in this first month of the year. In that St. Louis series, Cardinals are lined up to have Lance Lynn, Shelby Miller, and Joe Kelly pitch. Brewers are going to miss Adam Wainwright, who threw today as Lucroy lines one left field, base hit. First hit for Lucroy. He's 1 for 2.
They had to count in his favor with a, and got a fastball middle in. There's a 2-seam grip. Middle in, and Lucroy able to turn on it and rip it in the right, in the left.
Take you back to our Carsoup.com trivia. Speaking of Gold Gloves, which 2 players the all-time leaders, and Clemente and Mays, the great Pirate Roberto Clemente, 12 Gold Gloves apiece.
Did you know the answers?
I did not. You mean before?
I mean, you usually
I
get
took a guess, but
you usually get them before the game.
I did not get an advance copy.
No, you didn't get the answers from B. Mick.
But I like your Andrew Jones. Those are good guesses.
How many did he have?
Uncertain. Stand by.
He was close.
Yeah, those Braves pitchers always talk about the greatness of Andrew Jones. Chris Davis with Lucroy at first. Davis, a lazy fly ball to right. Travis Snyder for out number 2. My people tell me that Andrew Jones had a total of 10 Gold Gloves, and they were consecutive Gold Gloves from '98 to '07.
Yeah, I knew he was up there.
Every time you go to Pittsburgh, you still see a lot of the Roberto Clemente influence. Statue out in front of the stadium. Street named after him. The bridge. I believe that is the 9th Street Bridge in Pittsburgh that comes into PNC Park. And the right field wall in Pittsburgh is 21 feet tall. That's the number Clemente wore, 21.
Yeah.
Right field wall.
Gold Gloves, man. Yeah, Greg Maddux had 18 Gold Gloves. Yeah, Jim Cott. Brooks Robinson had 16.
Bouncing ball to Mercer. And he'll take care of Reynolds to end the inning. So the Brewers get a base hit from Lucroy, but they leave him stranded. And we're still tied at 2. Gallardo and Volquez. Gomez is gone deep. We head to the 5th at Miller Park. Diamond is a series of community outreach events that will take place each month during the season, all of which involve partnering with Brewers Community Foundation, players and coaches, Brewers' wives, alumni, and team personnel working in the community. The community events will be funded in part by Brewers Community Foundation and focused in the areas of health, education, recreation, and basic needs. 2-2 game, 5th inning. And the Pirates lead off with their shortstop Jordy Mercer down at the bottom of their order. 8, 9, and 1 due up here in the Pittsburgh 5th. Gallardo with a good bounce back inning after he labored in the 3rd, giving up 2 runs on 4 hits. A 3-batter inning in the 4th, ending in a double play. 2 double plays turned tonight by the Brewers. Third start of the year for Gallardo. Beat the Braves on opening day. A 2-0 Milwaukee win. One of 2 shutouts the Brewers have posted this year. And then Gallardo won in Boston. And down he goes. Mercer strikes out. Gallardo picks up his 3rd K.
Yeah, bottom of the strike zone has been wide open for Bill Miller, the home plate umpire. He got Braun on a pitch right at the bottom of the zone, and this one, I don't think he's going to go any lower than this. And perhaps Gallardo got the benefit of a a call right there.
The crew chief, Bill Miller, behind home plate, calling balls and strikes. Here's Volquez, the Pittsburgh pitcher, dropped down a perfect sacrifice bunt in the 3rd inning. Set up a run scoring inning for the Pirates. And he makes quick work of Edinson Volquez. Back-to-back Ks. 4 of them now for Giovanni as we check in with Sophia.
Brian, Fox Sports Supports is proud to recognize the Army's Gold Star Pin campaign, which honors the families of fallen service members. To learn more, you can visit goldstarpins.org. And now so much attention has been paid to the top of the Brewers rotation. Of course, Gallardo, Loesch, and Garza, and deservedly so. But Ron Roenicke said, the bottom half of our rotation should not be overlooked. Marco Estrada and Willie Peralta have gotten off to a great start and talked about those matchups that they've beaten some typical #1 pitchers, Cliff Lee, Francisco Liriano last night. So he said, we feel like our rotation is as deep as it's ever been lately, Brian.
Yeah, no question, and a reason to be hopeful. As Gallardo puts Marte in the hole 0-2, Marco Estrada has been fantastic. He matched Cliff Lee pitch for pitch, and you're looking at the back of this Brewers starting rotation with Peralta and Estrada, and that's why the 5-man rotation stands up so tall. You got Gallardo at the top, Kyle Loesch, Matt Garza. I think Peralta is the one benefiting the most from the veteran presence in the rotation, and he's starting to emerge as a real threat and a real force on the mound in the big leagues. Takes a little time. He has that look about him, though, and he certainly has the stuff to emerge as an ace one day.
Yeah, we broke down his at-bat against Pedro Alvarez, the way he was able to attack him, and showed his maturity in the process from year to year, how he's evolved as a pitcher and not a thrower anymore. We're talking about that 8-pitch at bat, got him to strike out. Talking about Alvarez on a breaking pitch, and he's been able to minimize the damage from the beginning of the second half last year till now.
Peralta, last night's winner, first win of the year. And that's into the glove of Lucroy. Good inning, Gallardo. Wow, 3 up, 3 down, 3 strikeouts. We'll see Gomez in the 5th when we continue. All tied at 2.
tonight at 2. It's now time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag WISFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. Now, Carlos Gomez, due up third, received his Gold Glove before the game, and he maybe was a little amped up because he led off the game with a home run. And Ron Roenicke said before the game there aren't many leadoff guys who have that 5-tool guy in the leadoff spot. He said the only guy that he could think of that would be similar would be Jacoby Ellsbury, who is now with the Yankees, but says even he is a special player but doesn't have the power that Gomez has, and that is a scary guy to face leading off the game.
And Gomez, there was a big search for that leadoff spot. We'll see Gomez hit third in this inning. Scooter Gennett was part of the discussion to hit leadoff. Ricky Weeks, Gene Segura in spring training hit leadoff a little bit. But Gomez was the answer for Ron Roenicke, and boy, that looks like a great move early as Gennett pulls one foul.
You think about how the leadoff spot has evolved over the years. I mean, it used to be a guy that stands up there taking pitches, slapping the baseball, a guy that would steal some bases, but you know, that all kind of changed with Ricky Henderson. He was the first real guy that leadoff hitter that would take you deep early in the ball game to start things off, and Gomez cut of the same cloth.
And Ricky Weeks hit leadoff for many years here in Milwaukee, and he gave the Brewers that kind of threat. You know, Weeks made an all-star team and was a regular leading off games with home runs. Ned Yost used to talk about that power threat. Pitcher's got to come out of the bullpen for his first pitch of the game, and you can't afford to just get one over against guys like that.
Yeah,
They'll hurt you.
Yeah, you can't just throw one over to get loose, right?
Gennett in the left field. Marte will settle under it for the first out. Scooter is 1 for 2. So Gomez heads on deck. Giovanni Gallardo will bat with 1 out.
Now, Paul Mahler, when he was a leadoff hitter, he was a guy that had some power. He was a power threat at the plate. You talk about a guy that one of the toughest guys ever to pitch to. Good eye at the plate. He could run, and he could take you deep if you made a mistake inside.
Volquez falling behind Gallardo. Even though he struck out Gallardo in the second, it was a troublesome at bat for Volquez. A wild pitch in that at bat led to the second Brewers run. And now it's 3-0. Missing with a fastball. Volquez signing a 1-year deal. He'll be 31 in July. Trying to find that magic he had in Cincinnati a few years back. And that is ball 4 as Gallardo draws the walk. Well, Ron Roenicke wore a microphone for us during BP. He had a visit with Carlos Gomez about his minor league days.
22 games straight, 2 base hit more, 2-3, never won.
20 games?
Yeah, 22 games, more than 2 base hit every time. And I go at a 190 to like 310, and then the last week, because I think I gotta call up, I tried to get it like opening and doing, and nada.
All right.
Nada. No more hits. He thought he was getting called up.
Got all excited, thought he had to hit some homers. Nada.
So a great character. We appreciate Ron wearing the microphone for us, letting us in his world a little bit as Gomez takes a big hack.
22 games though with multiple hits in a row.
22 straight games, right? With 2. That's the point was 2 or 3 hits, never 1.
Right.
Multi-hit games.
Yeah, that's multiple hit games. Yeah.
So from 190 to 310. Oh man,
that's a heck of a stretch. So let me see. Let me get this right. That's a minimum of 44 hits.
That's a minimum. If you're just going straight minimum.
It took me a while to figure that one out.
It's a bit of a delay on the math.
Well, 44 minimum though.
Your gazintas aren't quite adding up. Within the last 2 weeks, nada.
Nada.
Zero.
Yeah, but that's still a pretty good month.
And therein lies the essence of Ron Roenicke. And he's kind enough to wear a microphone for us, but he does that. You know, batting practice, he walks around, he'll go to little pockets of players, and it's always positive. Like, he'll get a guy thinking about something that is a good memory. And he gets in guys engaged in conversation, tries to, even if they're down, if they're struggling. Gomez certainly not struggling to start the year. He is a master communicator, Ron Roenicke. And a swing and a miss. Gomez strikes out. Changeup from Volquez.
It's a good one. Fastball topping out at about 93, 94. That changeup at 87 miles an hour. And right down around the dirt. That's where you want it with 2 strikes.
So after the home run, Gomez fly out and a strikeout, and now 2 gone for Segura, who has 2 ground ball outs to short tonight. He has not been around long. He's been swinging early in the count. Chases the first one here. Hope you had a chance to watch our special presentation last night. Sophia delivering a terrific show, taking us to Gene Segura's homeland in the Dominican Republic. Outstanding effort. Coordinating producer Trevor Fleck, part of that program as well, and more to come. Broken bat, another one out to Mercer, and that will retire the side. 5 in the books. 2-2 ball game. Division rivals, the Pirates and the Brewers. McCutchen will bat when we continue. Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery, and the best way to eliminate base runners, the double play ball, the pitcher's best friend. And the Brewers have 2 of them tonight. Both of them going 4-6-3.
Brewers haven't been able to turn it as smoothly as they would have liked, but they got the job done.
Figures to be the keystone combo for many years here in Milwaukee. Jeanette and Segura, 2 young players. Segura with his first full season in the big leagues last year. Jeanette hoping this will be his first full season in the major leagues after he came up and had a great run last season. Gallardo back to work. 2-2 game in the 6th inning now. Travis Snyder, Andrew McCutchen, Pedro Alvarez. Tough part of the order coming up against Gallardo. And third time through the batting order. Snyder drove in a run in the third inning. And a single to right center. 1-2. Snyder had back-to-back games this week with home runs in that series against the Cubs at Wrigley. Homered Wednesday, and then he came off the bench, hit a pinch hit 2-run home run Thursday. Pirates won that series, took 2 out of 3 from the Cubs. Bouncer to Segura, got to get it off quick, and does so. Gallardo retires the leadoff batter in the 6th.
And a good pitch right on the outside corner. Snyder reached for it, and an easy ground out to short.
Sellout crowd tonight at Miller Park. And this one was started with a bang as Gomez led off with a home run to center field. They measured that one at 432 feet. Brewers got another run in the second. Both runs for the Pirates in the third. McCutchen had a single in that third inning, had a hit and stole a base. That one's in there. 2-1.
Good pitch on the inside corner. McCutchen looking away. Fooled him with a pitch in on him.
McCutchen under contract with the Pirates for the next 4 seasons, could be the next 5 seasons. They locked him up early, and I think, like in the Carlos Gomez example, you get the money up front. You might sign for a discount, you know, based on what he's done in his career. It looks like a discount, but that has allowed McCutchen and guys like Gomez to free up and put up the big numbers. And he lines that one down the left field line. Trouble it is as it bounces off the wall. McCutchen into second base with a double on a 3-2 pitch. His second hit of the night.
Yeah, back-to-back at bats for McCutchen, the first and the third. 3-2 cutters that he was able to hit hard in the left. First one a single, this one a double. And pretty much similar locations. They ought to have left it inside. And McCutchen hits it hard down the left field line.
And now the Pirates have the go-ahead run in scoring position for Pedro Alvarez. He has walked and struck out. Alvarez committed an error earlier in this game on Chris Davis that led to a run. Third time through the order. Alvarez coming off a huge year last year, led the National League in home runs with 36. Hit hard, but the shift is on out there in the grass. Scooter Gennett well positioned for out number 2.
Another off-speed pitch for Giovanni, and Alvarez hits it pretty hard, but right into the shift. Can't play it any better than that. Gennett doesn't even have to move, and gets a long throw over to first base.
So 2 outs. McCutchen ends up at third base, and here's Russell Martin as the rain is coming down outside Miller Park. Gotta love the roof. Would hardly know it.
Yeah, don't know it. Doesn't affect a thing.
Opened in 2001, Miller Park. Martin takes a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike on the Pittsburgh catcher. Big spot for Gallardo. His pitch count at 94. Could be his last inning. If he retires, Martin might have a shot to go out for the 7th. A swing and a miss. It goes to 1-2. Gallardo sitting on 5 strikeouts. Looking for number 6. 1 and 2. And he got him. Gallardo dots the bottom of the zone. Martin strikes out. Gallardo with number 6. Strands a runner at third base. 2-2 ball game. Between innings here in the 6th, the Clements famous racing sausages. And the Italian, he's off to a good start. I think he won yesterday by my unofficial count. He just embarrassed the rest of them today, didn't he?
Yeah, that's a blowout right there. Wire to wire.
And going with the Aaron Rodgers belt after that. Discount double check. Nice. Yep, and those are the real life version. See, that was a good idea when they left the house. And they'll be going home together in that order as well. Having some fun at Miller Park on a Saturday night.
Italian doesn't have to buy tonight after the game.
Here's Ryan Braun to start it for the Brewers. 2-2 ball game in the 6th. And a line drive base hit. On the first pitch, Braun with his first hit of the night. And there's the start the Brewers are looking for. First time they've had their leadoff batter reach base since Gomez in the first.
First pitch curveball. I think the Brewers need to go up there and start looking off speed first pitch. That's what Volquez has been doing all night. This time he hung one and Braun able to hammer it into left field.
Now we'll see if Braun's on the move here. Got the red hot Aramis Ramirez at the plate. He lined out his last time up. Comes in batting .395 this year. And right back to Volquez, to second for one, and a double play, and just like that, leadoff base hit wiped out.
Now on the first pitch on a pretty good sinker down in the strike zone, and was able to get the comebacker.
So it goes 1-6-3 on the double play. Tyler Thornburg and Zach Duke. Duke, a former Pirate. So Lucroy with 2 away. Looking ahead to the Pittsburgh 7th inning. Got the switch hitting Neil Walker to lead off, then the lefty Travis Ishikawa, followed by Jordy Mercer. This game has been tied since the 3rd inning, when the Pirates scored twice on 4 hits against Gallardo in a 30-pitch inning for Giovanni. Volquez has been very good once again for the Buccos in his 2nd start.
You check out his numbers here in Milwaukee. He's 4-1 career in 7 starts against the Brewers here in Milwaukee, but his earned run average is almost 6. So he's had a lot of runs in support when he's been out there on the mound. Not so much tonight.
Brewers saw him a couple of times last year. Volquez pitching for the Padres last season, and he dominated the Brewers last year. He won both of his starts. Had a 2.19 ERA in his 2 starts against the Brew Crew last season. Beat Gallardo here at Miller Park last year, as a matter of fact. Lucroy, right field. That ball's well hit. Back is Snyder, and he'll have room at the track. Snyder runs it down to end the inning. 6 in the books, still tied at 2. Is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by Miller Lite. It's not just a good time, it's Miller time. Raining outside, nice and dry inside Miller Park. And a good ball game tonight, 2-2 as we head to the 7th inning. The Brewers and the Pirates. Zach Duke is the new Brewers pitcher. The former Pirate was drafted, developed, and brought to the big leagues with the Pirates. Spent 6 years with them, mostly as a starting pitcher. And he'll have the 7th as Gallardo is done for the night.
He was the only non-roster pitcher to make the opening day roster out of spring training. Last pitched on Tuesday against the Phillies. Allowed a run on a couple of hits. He also struck out a couple of batters.
The Brewers' situational left-hander in that bullpen. They have 3 lefties in the pen. Still have not seen Wei-Chung Wong pitch yet in a ball game. Former property of the Pirates. But Will Smith and Zach Duke have been impressive. 2-2. Walker will turn around, hit right-handed for the first time. Giovanni Gallardo will not factor in the decision tonight. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He walked 1 batter and struck out 6.
Yeah, rough 3rd inning. It all started with a double and a single, and then a couple of runs on the board for Pittsburgh. Another good start for Giovanni in the starting rotation.
There's a bouncer to Ramirez. Long throw. Right on the money for the first out. As promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. Reminder, you can tweet your photo to #WisFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. And it's all brought to you by AT&T. Superfan Josh out in the parking lot earlier today. No fun in the parking lot right now, actually, with the rain pouring down. Looks like it's going to be one and done for Zach Duke. Clint Hurdle announcing the pinch hitter. Gabby Sanchez for Ishikawa, and Roenicke will make the counter move. So Duke is done. 1 batter. Job well done. Here comes Thornburg. We'll take a break.
Alteris reserve tickets are just $9, courtesy of Miller High Life. Visit Brewers.com/highlife today.
New pitcher Tyler Thornburg. And what a story he's been this year. He has gone from the Brewers' long man to a very important late inning reliever for Ron Roenicke. Already 2 wins on the season.
Yeah, last 2 appearances have been scoreless. 9 up, 9 down with 4 strikeouts. Very good back-to-back games in Philadelphia.
He'll take over with the bases empty. Gabby Sanchez, the pinch hitter. There's been a lot of great stories in the first 10 games of the season. Thornburg might be one of the brightest. It's not easy to change your role that fast, but Thornburg, and the fact that he went through Boston and just ripped right through guys like Napoli and David Ortiz and Pedroia, that really opened eyes. And then he came back, did it again in back-to-back nights against the Phillies. Has been efficient, throwing everything he has for strikes.
Fastball 95, 96. Good curveball. Changeup's been impressive. And just continues to pour in the strikes. And which puts the Brewers in a bit of a quandary. I mean, they don't have really a long reliever right now. You can't really say that Thornburg's their long reliever because he's pitched so often. You need your long reliever, you know, in case your starter's not able to go very long.
Sanchez chases one out of the zone, and a strikeout for Tyler Thornburg. So the second out of the inning. Thornburg goes with that big fastball.
Four-seamer up around the letters, and no chance for Sanchez. That's a tough pitch to get a piece of.
As we check in with Sophia on Tyler Thornburg. Apologize, her mic not working. Fly ball to right, and that'll end the inning. Thornburg just keeps it rolling. He might get another inning out of it. 2 quick outs for Thornburg. A scoreless 7th for the Brewer bullpen.
Tyler Thornburg strikes or gets rid of the first 2 hitters he faces tonight. And talking about the road trip with him, the success he had, he thought a lot of that stemmed from just being in close games. He thought as a competitor, he relishes that opportunity, and that edge and that adrenaline that he had, he thought actually helped him to focus and execute his pitches better. So Thornburg loves these late inning situations, Brian.
Well, he's got great numbers, doesn't he, in his 3rd season here in the big leagues, parts of 2 seasons last year, and made quick work of Gabby Sanchez and Jordy Mercer. Sanchez stays in to play first. A platoon at first base for the Pirates, Ishikawa and Sanchez. Chris Davis leads off bottom 7 in a 2-2 game. Edinson Volquez back to work. He's been very good tonight. Giving up 2 runs, 1 of them earned. Pirates had Jeff Locke coming back from an oblique injury. Many felt he would just jump into the starting rotation. He was activated from the DL, then sent to AAA earlier this week. And Volquez remains in that rotation, joining Wandy Rodriguez and Garrett Cole. Tomorrow starter Charlie Morton, and their ace is Liriano, who took the loss yesterday. He's off to a great start for the Pirates. Davis, little jam shot left center field. McCutchen closing, and oh, he dropped it. And Davis, with a big turn, wisely holds up. Andrew McCutchen dropped a routine fly ball.
Yeah, he just clanked that one. Not sure why, but he got there, but just couldn't hold on to it. Boy, oh boy, you don't see that with McCutchen very. You don't see that with any big leaguer. Just right on the heel of the glove, and he clanks it. And Davis, it should have been at second base. So an E8 allows the Brewers to get their leadoff hitter aboard.
Pirates committed an error in the second inning on Davis. That was an E5, and he scored the second run. So Davis at first for Mark Reynolds.
I see McCutchen playing straight away, and this is about as routine as it gets. He gets over into the gap in time, and that just drops it.
That from a Gold Glove Award winner. Won it in 2012. Mark Reynolds homered yesterday. The power threat down at the bottom of the batting order. Not many lineups have a guy hitting 7th with the kind of pop that Reynolds has. In the dirt, good block by Martin, keeps Davis at first.
Just let some pitches in the dirt squirt away from him in this series. And both times it's helped the Brewers get runs. And normally about as automatic as it gets on the ball in the dirt. Of course, he's had a lot of pitches in the dirt in this series so far.
Volquez has been efficient tonight. He's pitching in the 7th inning and only 86 pitches thus far. 1 ball, 1 strike on Mark Reynolds. 2-1. Reynolds, one of 3 non-roster invitees to make the ball club. He and Lyle Overbay from the position players, and Zach Duke, who got an out last inning on the mound. 2-1, and Reynolds pulls it foul. Reynolds is now in his 8th year in the big leagues. Was an everyday player with the Diamondbacks. Had a 40-homer season in 2009. Hit 44 home runs in 2009. Drove at 102. And then he went from the Diamondbacks to the Orioles. A couple of years in Baltimore, hit 37 home runs with Baltimore 3 years ago. And then the everyday job started to dwindle for Mark Reynolds. He became a platoon player, kind of a utility bench guy, pinch hitter. And then he found himself in the very uncomfortable position of having to make a ball club in spring training, which was a first for Reynolds since his rookie year, prior to his rookie season in the big leagues.
Man, both of the Brewers' first basemen, non-roster players, both made the team. Zach Duke another. So the Brewers had 3.
Reynolds split time between the Indians and the Yankees last year. He's off to a great start with 3 early home runs. Full count. And Reynolds takes ball 4. What a good at bat by Mark Reynolds. Volquez trying to get him to chase. He did not. And now 2 on with nobody out in the 7th. And decision time for Clint Hurdle.
Well, he's got a left-hander getting loose in the bullpen. 1-2. He's got 2 down there. That's Tony Watson. And here comes Clint Hurdle. Actually, Ray Searage, pitching coach.
Which would lead you to believe that Volquez is going to face Jeanette in this spot. Former Brewer Ray Searage. Boy, his stock is rising, isn't it? One of the more well-respected pitching coaches in the big leagues. Has had a lot of reclamation projects.
He's had a good pitching staff to deal with. Some pretty good arms. Very good bullpen. I'm sure he's got a lot to do with that. I mean, very similar to Rick Cranix. He simplifies scouting reports for his guys. That's the word on Searage. Doesn't get too much into their head.
All right, Volquez is going to stay to face Jeanette. Possibly a bunting situation here. Jeanette is a good bunter. First and second, nobody out in a 2-2 game. Bottom 7. Bunts it foul.
This situation with a bunt toward third base to have Pedro Alvarez lead the bag and field the baseball.
Lyle Overbay on deck to pinch hit in the pitcher's spot. Might see Watson at that point. Jeanette squares, bunts it foul. And it's quickly 0-2. Uncharacteristic of Jeanette. Normally an excellent bunter. And now Roenicke forced into a decision here. Do you have him bunt with 2 strikes or let him swing?
Well, last thing you want is a ground ball. Volquez has gotten a lot of ground ball out, so you don't want a ground ball to turn a double play. I wouldn't be surprised to see him bunting again.
See what he does. No balls, 2 strikes. And he squares and he gets it down. It's a beauty. Volquez, a jump throw to first. Nice play by the Pirate pitcher. A clutch 2-strike bunt by Jeanette advances both runners. Second and third with 1 away.
It looked like that bunt was going to get by Volquez. Bunting it a little bit too hard, but look at the play by Volquez showing good athleticism, and that was a tremendous play. That would have meant the bases would have been loaded. Not many pitchers going to make that throw. That's a good athletic play by the Pirates starter.
And as Lyle Overbay is announced, Clint Hurdle is on his way out. So the end of the line for Edinson Volquez. Costly error to start this inning by the former Gold Glover McCutchen. Now the Brewers are set up. Second and third, 1 out, and a pitching change at Miller Park.
902-4777 or visit brewers.com/groups today.
Sellout crowd of over 42,000, almost 43,000 in the house tonight. And we're all knotted at 2 in the bottom of the 7th. New pitcher is Tony Watson. Left-hander out of the bullpen, brought in to face Overbay. Roenicke counters with Ricky Weeks. So Overbay announced, then pulled back, and Roenicke will play the matchup with Weeks. Had a hit last night, had a double off lefty Francisco Liriano. Second and third, 1 out. Go ahead run at third base. Chris Davis reached on an error by McCutchen. And Weeks wasting no time left field. Davis is going to tag. Oh, he came off the bag and he cannot score. Chris Davis came off the bag before the ball was caught.
Yeah, just a little too excited. Did the right thing. He went straight back, but left too early. They can't make mistakes like that in these games. He goes back. Eddie Cedar's going to send him. He just takes off too early and then can't tag up and leave in time. Wow.
That was a huge mistake.
That would have been a close play at home plate because Marte's got a terrific throwing arm and he wasn't that deep.
So now 2 outs, and here is Gomez trying to break the tie. Gomez swinging away at the first pitch.
Well, off the bat it sounded like that was going to be in the gap, but he didn't get a lot of it. Davis takes off too quickly and can't make the adjustment.
That could be a big one. Gomez trying to pick him up. Led the game off with a home run. His 4th of the year at the plate, presented by Wendy's. 1 for 3. He's up in a big spot here. 2 outs in a 2-2 ball game in the 7th.
Yeah, he's got big fastball, 95 miles an hour, with a slider to go with it. He is a big-time strikeout pitcher. He's got 8 strikeouts and a little over 5 innings of work so far this year.
He's ahead in the count. Gomez 2-1. And a swing and a miss. Took a little off.
And he's got a changeup. Well, if you have a changeup, the Brewers are going to get him.
2-2 to Carlos. Watson has only given up 1 earned run. That was against the Cubs. His 6th appearance already. Gomez, broken bat, little roller out to Mercer. Throw to first in time, and the Brewers come up empty. Or a base running blunder at third. Still tied at 2 as we go to the 8th. 2 runs, 1 earned. He and Gallardo will not factor in the decision tonight. Gallardo goes 6 innings, gives up 6 hits and 2 earned runs. So this one belongs to the bullpen, and the next man up for the Brewers is Jim Henderson.
Yeah, he's been pretty good. Last pitch, he pitched last night, pitched a perfect 3 up, 3 down 8th inning for Roenicke. Had troubles with his velocity, location in spring training, but it seems as though he's found it. He's been throwing much better lately.
He will face a pinch hitter to start the 8th. Pirates are down at the bottom of their order. And Jose Tabata will lead off. Then you go back to the top, and Starling Marte and Travis Snyder. If anybody gets on, Andrew McCutchen will bat. Two mistakes kind of erase one another. In the bottom of the 7th, Davis reaches on an error by McCutchen, a routine fly ball that he dropped, and then Davis, a base running mistake, coming off the bag too early on a fly ball.
It would have been interesting had he tagged up correctly, because Marte had a pretty good opportunity to throw him out, and he's got a pretty good throwing arm.
Henderson working a 3 up 3 down inning yesterday, going through the top of the order. And then Frankie Rodriguez saved it yesterday. It's one of the benefits of being tied at home. From a manager's perspective, you can go with your late inning relievers that you pitch in close games and leads, because you have the final at bat. So you can bring Henderson on in his what is now a setup role, essentially, and you can use your closer in the 9th inning. One ball, 2 strikes on Tabata.
And one of the issues the Brewers are dealing with right now, they're a bit short-handed. We haven't seen Brandon Kinsler in a while. Not sure what's going on with him, but you've used one of your 2 long men that you can use. You got Smith, that can give you a couple of innings, and Tyler Thornburg only 2/3 of an inning. He's a guy who can give you 2 or 3 innings. So as this game goes on, if it goes extras, it kind of puts the Brewers into a corner.
Got him. Henderson strikes out Tabata. He chased one. A deceptive fastball. He gets a lot of swings and misses out of the strike zone with his fastball, especially upstairs,
and especially at 95 miles an hour. Thornburg got Gabby Sanchez on a neck-high fastball, and Henderson gets Tabata.
It's like a big piece of chocolate cake, right?
Yeah.
Looks good, just not good for you.
There's some back there if you're interested.
I am. Top of the order, Marte. He's had a quiet series. Brewers are hoping to keep it that way. This guy has got some serious talent. Came in with pretty good numbers. Has 11 hits through the first 9 games of the season leading up to tonight's game, or first 10 games, I should say. 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts tonight. Marte did drive in a run in the 3rd on a ground out. That was the first run. That was in the 3rd inning. It looked like Gallardo had punched him out, but a check swing was called, and then Marte put it in play to get the ribby.
And then Snyder got a base hit, so that was a big no call down at first base in the 3rd inning. Had it been a strikeout, it would have been perhaps a no-score inning for the Pirates. Who knows?
Gallardo keeps the streak alive for starting pitchers allowing 3 runs or fewer for the Brewers. It goes back to last year. They've actually got that streak now at 24 consecutive games. Starters allowing 3 runs or fewer. And of course 11 in a row to start this season. Full count. And Marte stays alive. Pitch number 7 on the way from Henderson. He's hanging tough.
And that last one at 96 miles an hour. So Henderson's back officially. Any concerns about his velocity can be put to rest.
25-year-old Dominican-born Starling Marte giving Henderson a good battle. 3-2. And he whistles one to left. Davis will play it on a hop. So a long battle, and Starling Marte wins his first hit. He singles to left.
And now you figure he's going to try and steal a base. Henderson takes a while to get rid of the baseball, so that's the last guy you want to see on base. The base stealer, Starling Marte. Lucroy knows it. Henderson left that one down in the strike zone. Easier to get to 95 miles an hour when it's down around the knees.
Well, a base stealer on base.
When you get that pitch up about 6 inches, that might be a punch out, but down there a little easier to get the barrel of the bat on it. And nice quick bat by Marte that time.
Here's Travis Snider, 1 man out. Last year Marte stole 41 bases in his first full season in the big leagues. He was caught 15 times, however, which led the National League. He's 3 out of 4 in stolen base attempts this year.
And still learning how to steal bases, but he's so fast. He makes up for bad jumps with his speed.
Brewers set up to turn 2, and that ball is ripped, and it is foul. Wow, Snider launches one well foul. And a long, loud strike for the Pirate right fielder. Both of Snider's home runs have come this week in their series at Wrigley Field in Chicago. Marte goes. Time was called. I think Snider asked for timeout, was granted timeout by the home plate umpire.
And it would have been a stolen base. He had a great jump. Henderson held on to the baseball, trying to freeze both the hitter and the base stealer. You see the call of timeout a little bit late. And it cost his teammate a stolen base. That's a nice jump. Look how far he is before Henderson even gets rid of it.
Big lead at first. No balls and a strike on Snider. Andrew McCutchen on deck. Snider drove in a run with a single to right center in the 3rd inning. Hit it sharply. It's the last run scored in this game. One ball, one strike. Snider late on the fastball, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, up in the strike zone. He's been having some success, but not down in the zone. That pitch up over the belt, tougher to get to.
And a pitch out. Marte not running. Evens the count at 2-2. And Hurdle going through the signs. Relaying them to Nick Leyva, third base coach, former Brewer coach. And we'll see if Marte's on the move here. Two balls, two strikes in a 2-2 game. You know, when Clint Hurdle writes up his lineup, when he envisions the ideal spot for this platoon in right field batting second, this is what he has in mind. Base stealer at first. If Marte reaches, you got McCutchen and MVP hitting third.
That's a huge lead over there at first base.
And there he goes. And a bouncing ball right through the hole. A base hit. Marte on his way to third. That could not have worked out better for the Pirates. Travis Snider with a second hit, and now the Pirates in business with one out. And the go-ahead run at third base.
And it's usually the off infielder, this case Segura, to cover the bag, but Brewers not figuring that Snyder's going to pull a ground ball off of Henderson, but he does on a 1-2 pitch or a 2-2 pitch, and rolls one right where Jeanette would have been.
And now the Brewers in a mess here with McCutchen coming up. Tough guy to double up, Andrew McCutchen. He's about as fast as it gets. He's got to hit one right at an infielder to turn two.
Start him with a slider. This guy's not going to be hitting 231 very long. Too good a hitter. Off to a slow start, and he's starting to heat up a bit.
Brewers stranding runners at second and third with one out. Last inning. Now the Pirates threaten. This is a spot where Henderson could use a strikeout. Good numbers in the clutch for Andrew McCutchen. His career batting average is .295, and it's right about there with runners in scoring position.
See if the Pirates put a play on here on a 2-1 count with Snyder at first.
Wei-Chung Wong up and throwing in the Brewers bullpen along with Will Smith. 2-1. McCutchen pops it up in the infield. Foul territory. Lucroy's got it. A huge out. Snyder on his way to second. Now Marte's coming home. The throw. Henderson the tag. Out at home. Whoa, what a double play to get out of that one. Segura, a perfect strike to the plate. Henderson digging right in. The Marshfield Clinic shining moment of the game, and it sends us to the bottom of the eighth, still tied.
Possible collision at the plate that ended that last half inning, and what a double play the Brewers were able to turn. Let's go back, Davey, and take a look. First, it's Andrew McCutchen at the plate. Pop foul that Jonathan Lucroy catches, and it takes off from there.
It was a great heads-up play on Lucroy's part, because it's not a bad play on Pittsburgh to try to tag and advance. If anything, if you don't throw, the runner is at second base. But as you see, Luke looks at third base where you want to, and then he sees the guy run, throws it, and then the great throw by Segura got Marte at the plate.
And here's Henderson behind the plate taking the throw as Marte comes in. The throw definitely beat him there. Hurdle came out to have a word with the home plate umpire, Bill Miller, but to no avail. Here's one more look, Davey, at the play.
And, you know, right there, Jim Henderson did a nice job. He might have even, it looked like he wasn't blocking the plate. He gave him enough of the plate to slide to. It's just a matter of, was his leg in there? And that's what Clint Hurdle was going to argue about.
How about the heads-up play by Jim Henderson? We'll be taking a look at that, and plenty more. Brewers Live postgame is on the way, Brian.
All right, thanks, Craig and Davey. Mark Melancon in for Pittsburgh. Their setup man, as Gene Segura will lead off. 2-2 game, bottom of the 8th inning, and somehow the Brewers wiggle out of that one as Segura on the first pitch. Mercer, and close, but out.
Boy, there was a lot going on in that play to end that last inning. I mean, where do you begin? I mean, it was a great play by Snyder to tag up. I mean, that was a brilliant move. Although you've got Pedro Alvarez coming up. You wonder if that was the smartest thing to do. But he tags up. And a bang-bang play. You can see the umpire, Vic Carapazza, got it right. But Clint Hurdle went out to argue. I mean, he has not used a challenge. It's the 8th inning. He can have the umpire go to a review on a number of different levels. I mean, safer route was Henderson blocking the plate. He can only request to the home plate umpire on a collision type situation to see if he will see if Henderson was blocking off the plate without the baseball, but clearly he was not. He was actually straddling the plate and a little bit behind home plate, you know, giving the base runner a lot of room to see that plate. But what a throw by Segura. I mean, first of all, it was a great throw by Lucroy. He was surprised, number one, that Snyder was going to second base. And a lot of times as a catcher there, you get surprised. You throw one, you bounce one, you don't really get a good throw off. You got a great throw off, and Segura with the relay, both of those throws had to be perfect, and they were.
Aggressive base running.
You see plenty of the plate. I mean, he's behind home plate right there before he has the baseball.
Well, how many pitchers are willing to stick their nose in there on a play like that, like Jim Henderson?
Yeah.
So here we are in the bottom of the 8th. One gone. Ryan Braun at the plate. Mark Melancon, one of the best setup men in baseball last year. And he's got a long streak going, the longest in the big leagues without allowing a home run. As Braun lines one, base hit just over the glove of Neil Walker. And Ryan Braun with a multi-hit game. A one-out base runner for the Brew Crew.
A sweet swing by Ryan Braun, taking that pitch away from him, ripping it over the head of Neil Walker. Fastball away from him, down and away. Had a little bit of the plate, but it was down. And just out of the reach of Walker at second base. There's your go-ahead run.
And we'll see if Braun will try to steal a base. Both clubs had a runner at third and less than 2 outs. And neither able to score. Some strange plays to result in no run scoring. Brewers in the bottom of the 7th and the Pirates in the top of the 8th. Aramis Ramirez 0 for 3 tonight. Bounced into a double play his last time up following a Braun single. Mark Melancon 68 consecutive innings without allowing a home run. And Ramirez with a base hit left center. And Braun thinking about third. Not testing the arm of Marte. Back-to-back hits. 2 on with 1 out.
coming in. A 3 for 7 against Melanson. Looks like a cut fastball that he gets off the end of the bat. And into left field. Braun had thoughts of going to third base, but thought better of it. Good throwing arm out there in left.
And Jonathan Lucroy, who has a great opposite field swing, which works best with a guy like Melanson with that cutter. You don't see Melanson pitch inside very often.
Yeah, particularly with the game on the line, which is ordinarily when he's in.
He sets up for Jason Grilli, but pitching here in a 2-2 game. 2 on, 1 out. Lucroy at the plate. Lucroy has been the best hitter with runners in scoring position in his Brewers career. He's a .297 hitter in that category throughout his career. Led the Brewers in RBIs last year. It's been a different story this season. Lucroy is hitless with runners in scoring position this year. He's 0 for 9.
And the Pirates are giving him a big hole between first and second, and he uses that area quite effectively.
Braun with great speed at second. And Lucroy right through the hole. Base hit. Braun around third. He's going to try to score. Here comes the throw. And Braun, he is safe. The Brewers take the lead 3-2.
Well, good job by Ed Cedar, the third base coach, windmilling him around. Top of the eye with not a great throwing arm out and right. Very aggressive. Knew Braun had good speed, and he used that hole we were just talking about. They gave him a lot of room over there. And look at the throw, sails a little bit, pretty close, but Braun able to score the go-ahead run. And everybody able to advance. Well, now second and third, only 1 out.
Close. Braun scores. Brewers lead. Martin made a great pick on that baseball.
Yeah, that throw's right on the money. He's going to be out. That throw a little bit up the line, and that's all it took for Braun to get in there safely.
Quick meeting at the mound with pitching coach Ray Searage. Lucroy delivers his first hit of the year with a runner in scoring position. And it is a big one. The Brewers now lead it. And they have second and third with 1 out for Chris Davis. Infield is in for the Pirates. 3 straight hits off Melanson. Boy, he had a big cut. That was the one.
Good pitch to hit right down Main Street.
The Brewers trying to win their 8th consecutive game. A perfect 6-0 road trip, and then one last night in the opener of this series against their division rivals. And now a late lead, looking for more in the 8th. 0-2. Davis has reached twice on Pittsburgh errors. Alvarez and McCutchen with the errors. Had a base running mistake leaving third base too early last inning. A possible scoring chance on a sacrifice fly. And Martin on his way out.
this is where Chris Davis needs to just shorten up, try and just put the ball in play somehow, some way. Don't need the big fly here. Not sure if the Brewers had 3 hits off Melanson all year last year, let alone in 1 inning.
Yeah, not sure anybody had 3 hits against Melanson. That's how good he was last season. Braun, Ramirez, and Lucroy. Lucroy's put the Brewers on top. Here's the 0-2. And down he goes. Davis strikes out. Second out of the inning. And that'll relax the Pirates' infield defense back to normal position. Here comes Mark Reynolds.
Well, Davis had 2 pretty good pitches to hit. Not that one. That's the 0-2 pitch up in the zone.
Looking ahead to the Pittsburgh 9th. Pedro Alvarez, Russell Martin, and Neil Walker coming up. 4, 5, and 6 in their order. Big spot for Mark Reynolds. Drew a walk his last time up. He's 0 for 2. And Melanson hits the corner for a strike. Will Smith is the big lefty. The closer, Frankie Rodriguez, is behind him. One ball, 1 strike. And Reynolds takes ball 2. Last year, Melanson made the All-Star team as a setup man. Actually saved 16 ball games while Grilli was coming back from injury. Had a 1.39 ERA last season. And that's a true ERA as well. Sometimes with relievers, the ERA doesn't tell the story, but for the most part, he started and finished innings. He didn't come into games a lot with men on base.
Right, when a reliever comes in with another pitcher's runners on base, how many of those score, right? That's what you're talking about.
3-1 to Reynolds. Second and third for the Brewers. And Reynolds, a shot. Mercer makes the play. And the throw is in time. Boy, that was a great play by Mercer. The inning is over. But the Brewers score. They get an RBI single from Jonathan Lucroy. 3 straight hits. Braun, Ramirez, and Lucroy, and the Brewers have the lead. 3-2 as we go to the 9th. Tomorrow afternoon on Fox Sports Wisconsin, Charlie Morton against Kyle Loesch. And will the Brewers be in a position for their third consecutive sweep? It is 3-2 Milwaukee as we go to the ninth inning. And it'll be Frankie Rodriguez looking for back-to-back saves. Columbia St. Mary's save tracker has him with 3 on the season.
Yeah, and he's going to be facing the same 3 guys that he faced last night: Pedro Alvarez, Russell Martin, and Neil Walker. Last night he was able to strike all 3 of them out. Hoping for the same today. You needed 12 pitches to strike out all 3 of his batters last night.
Henderson somehow escapes the 8th inning. And here's Pedro Alvarez. Shift is on. Expecting Alvarez to pull the ball on the ground. And a big breaking ball to start him out. Brewers get an improbable double play to end the 8th inning. And they've had 3 double plays tonight. Pirates had McCutchen at the plate with runners at second and third, or rather first and third, and 1 out. McCutchen popped up to Lucroy in foul territory. Snyder took off, a throw to second, a return throw to the plate, and they got Marte to end the inning. And then 3 hits in a row from Braun, Ramirez, and Lucroy in the 8th. Lucroy's put him ahead. (3-0) to Alvarez. And he's swinging away 3-0. Will that stay playable? Ramirez will give it a look, and it'll be in the seats.
Yes, hacking on 3-0. Why not? That big fella. Got to be careful every pitch, even 3-0.
Third straight appearance for K-Rod. Finished the game in Philadelphia. Was not a save situation. Capped off the sweep against the Phillies. And that one's low, ball 4. And Alvarez draws a leadoff walk here in the 9th inning. And there's the tying run for the Pirates. And it looks like a pinch runner is coming out for Clint Hurdle. Josh Harrison will pinch run for Alvarez. The nephew of Brewers coach John Shelby.
He's got decent speed. I mean, he's not a base burner, but he's a lot faster than Pedro Alvarez.
Here's Russell Martin. Well, he took a swing at it. A big hack.
Well, Martin, another guy just like Lucroy that can use that hole between first and second very effectively. Lucroy exploited it in the bottom of the 8th. A lot of room out there.
Martin had a 2-homer game on Wednesday in Chicago. His first 2 of the year as K-Rod just missed. Martin's been a hot hitter on the road trip for the Pirates. Started in Chicago, second game here in Milwaukee. 1 for 3 tonight. 6 for 14 on this current trip for Russell Martin. 1-2. Nothing but fastball so far for Frankie Rodriguez.
Yeah, except for the first pitch to Alvarez, the curveball. It's been all fastballs. This is certainly a change-up situation.
Over to third, Ramirez, Jeanette, and Reynolds able to keep a toe on the bag in time for the double play.
Well, you know, Clint Hurdle's going to come out and have him look at this one for sure. And here he comes. Boy, what a job by Reynolds to even make it close. If he's not only kept his foot on the bag, but able to catch the baseball. Well, about tailor-made as it gets, but Jeanette's throw up the line. Well, it looks like he had it right on the top of the bag.
I think it was there.
Here you go. This will be it. Yep, he's on the bag. What a play by Reynolds. I'll tell you, that might be a game saver right there.
Well, they're gonna go to the replay. It has been challenged as Reynolds, ball and glove,
right there.
toe on bag.
There's the out. I mean, without a doubt, it's going to be quick.
Well, what an outstanding play by Mark Reynolds.
Well, if that ball gets by him, or you got a man at second base, looks like it's going to be 2 outs and nobody on. This is going to be a layup here.
Bill Miller, the crew chief, in communication with the replay challenge center in New York. And the calling umpire there, Vic Carapazza. And the out is upheld.
Yep, it eliminates any arguing, and they got it right. A pretty easy call.
So a 5-4-3 double play, the 4th double play for the Brewers tonight. 2 outs, bases empty, and the Pirates down to their last out.
And look at the way he's using first base. I mean, look where his foot is on the outfield part of the bag to give him extra room. For a guy that's not used to playing first base, that's a good way to use that bag.
Now they're on their feet. Neil Walker at the plate for the Pirates. On the ground, this could do it. Jeanette is there, and the Brew Crew has won 8 consecutive ball games. K-Rod saves his 4th. The Brewers win 3-2 over the Pirates, and they go to 9-2.